Welcome back to the Chit-Chat show where the chat decides where we go. Today we got Briana Brugh in the chat. Welcome in with the Yapper Gazette in the background. So, since that's in your immediate background while people are filing in, yap about the Yapper Gazette. I know that's a little bit of a meta question, but tell us about it.
Yeah, last year on LinkedIn when I started yapping, I was probably a month or two in, and people started asking like where else can they read my stuff at. So I started a newsletter called the Yapper Gazette, and then that morphed into theyappergazette.com, which is my media company where I write all of the content that you see there. And I focus on pop culture, marketing, social media, tech, and travel. So
Oh,
you
so
can
like
get
all
all
the
of your
meta topics for your life, right?
all the things that I love.
Yeah. We got Cassidy in the chat, Bill Wolf in the chat, Vance in the chat, Kathleen Byram in the chat, LinkedIn user in the chat. Let's see who that is. I got to open it up. Lori Castamanes. Pooja in the chat. Welcome in, everybody. This is Bree. I've known Bree for basically as long as I've been content creating on LinkedIn. Not my whole LinkedIn career because I was part of the people who were just silent. I was part of the silent crowd. And then I just saw people like Bree, and I was like, wait, I want to get a little louder. I want to yap a little bit.
You did, and you showed up, and it was so funny because I remember meeting you back then, and everybody was so cool. It was like crickets chirping on LinkedIn, and I think everybody was feeling something similar around the same time, like March. I don't know if we were in like
that was about we met I think in like before March, but like that's when Weird LinkedIn started around March of 2025.
Yeah, it was like Mercury went in retrograde and Weird LinkedIn popped up and all the fun began. And then I gave you some advice and you took it and you ran.
Yeah,
Like
for
you
real. Like
ran to the
seriously,
top.
so much of what I know is because of what Bree taught me. Like I didn't know. I was a fish out of water, so I was just connecting with people. And then we did like a coffee chat, I think, right? Like that was before even coffee chats were really a thing. I mean, like they weren't like as popular back then, but we did like something like that. And then we were just talking, and I think you saw something in me that like I don't know, like you saw potential.
It was funny. It was the content calendar, and you asked me, you were like, it feels like you know me better than I know myself. And I was like, I just asked you, I just pulled the answers out of you. I just asked you in a way that most people don't think about that stuff and think about how it like relates to your content. And you immediately made the connection from there, and like what you've been able to do since then has been incredible, because this is exactly what creators need to do, is just take the information, take what works for them and go, and don't stop. And you didn't stop.
I didn't stop because I remember at one point, like I thought I was at like a good number. And then I remember you told me I can get 10 times bigger. Like, and I was like 10 times bigger. And now I'm like 100 times bigger. It's just it's you get exponentially. Growth is not linear though. It's very wavy. And you like even if you look at my chart right now, even the past like 90 days, there's a lot of waves in it. But there's no days in it below 100,000. And like that's something that Bree saw in me, and she's like, hey, I think that you can grow. And then okay, so you were doing it like from an amateur perspective. Then tell us about what Loose Cannon is about right now. Like I know it's still evolving, but what's it about?
Yeah. So it is our digital agency. So it was started by Noah, who's in the chat. Thank you. Somebody said they loved the glasses. Thank you. My other glasses broke. These are my backup. Noah and I met last year. So for those that don't know the story, Noah's one of my best friends. He DM'd me one day and was like, hey, I see you love Nick Cage. I love Nick Cage too. We should probably be friends. And we started chatting, and we just ended up becoming like really good friends. Throughout most of last year, he was looking for work, and he's super creative. If you don't follow him, I highly suggest or recommend that you do. He's one of the funniest people that I've had the pleasure of meeting. And around September, I got laid off unexpectly. I had just gotten a $10,000 raise the month
I remember
before,
you told me about that, and then you told me about both parts, the layoff and the raise, and it was like, oh my god! I was like, I thought you were like kind of trolling me, but you know.
No, that really happened. And that's usually like the red flag. Like I've started to hear so many more stories since sharing mine and being open about what happened is that, a company will give you like a really nice bonus. And then the very next month, that's when you get laid off so that they can feel better about the layoff or whatever the case is. In my case, I couldn't have been happier. Like I walked out of that building smiling. In fact, breaking news, but the first people that I told were Brooke, Bill, and Nick, who I was texting as it was happening. Yeah. And they were like, "Are you serious right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm great. It's fine. It's going to be fine. I'm out of here." Like I had already given myself a year to get out of corporate marketing anyways. And then like around December, I was like, we're like the way LinkedIn is going and the way that I'm really getting into like the creative marketing, I really love this stuff. I still want to do this with brands who want to have fun and who want to risk it. And I had like I
Pepsi
guess
did today. Great job, Pepsi.
Maybe not that one.
Oh no, not that one.
No, not that one. We don't want to.
But they issued an oopsies. That's okay. So it's okay.
That's okay. But like where we're at with women and like, I just as a marketer,
I feel like that was like a very regressive like thread from them. I feel like okay, they didn't directly say the rape thing, but like they implied it.
Implied it, whether they meant that direction or not. Somebody should have had enough common sense to be like, absolutely not. Like you can't put that on social.
Yeah, not
like
as
there
Pepsi.
Was no
like come
not
on.
As not really as anybody, but
not as anybody.
Yeah, and especially a global brand like that. There was no senior approval that stepped in and was like, "Hey guys, maybe
like put
maybe
a little
time out
on it." I think I thought the days of giving the drunk college kid the keys to the social media platform were over. But who knows?
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Social media is a real shit show for a lot of brands because a lot of them will just stick anybody in that channel because they don't understand the severity or
they'll just put somebody in the youngest person in.
They don't have the media training. They don't have that where it's like, oh, these are what you can and can't say on social media.
Or
this
like,
is
here's what words
these are the
mean,
tones
you
that
big
you can and
freaking
can't
morons.
use.
Yeah.
Like that, it was like you put an idiot in the seat today, and I can only imagine the backlash that they're facing right now because of that.
No, that's why people need like something like a loose cannon that's got like people who aren't stupid and that they can literally drive your bus and go in the right direction. Like I don't see Brie writing like really stupid shit. Like she just doesn't write stupid shit.
I push the limit, but not in a way that's going to be
not in a bad way though.
Anyone.
You push it in the good way.
Yeah. And that's the difference with any person who uses social media for good is knowing the boundaries, knowing the certain topics that I'll never touch because they're not my lane. Not everybody needs to be a CNN outlet. You can have fun and you don't have to be offensive and you don't have to be mean. But in December, I had a thought. Those things that come across once in a blue moon. And I was like, what if we started a feral agency? And I initially pitched it to Noah and one of our other friends. And our other friend was like, look, I don't want to do this because I'm just not in it to do, like, I feel like I would lose my passion if I had to do this for work. And Noah, his immediate response was, I was like, we should start. And he was like, yes.
There we go.
And our friend
and
had given us the
confidence
met up
in
like,
San Diego, right?
Yeah. We met. I flew down there a few months ago, and our friend had told us at the beginning, was like, if there's two people here who can make this work and do it, it's you two.
No, it really is
So
though. Like it actually is.
every day I'm like, this is crazy. He's one of the most creative humans I've ever met on this
Well,
floating
what the
rock.
heck?
I mean,
You
I've
are
had
too.
to,
Like you are too.
yeah,
You are okay. Like there's like eras of Brie. Like in terms of your social media, like your social media history, there's like eras, right? It's like Taylor Swift,
yeah,
who I know you're a huge fan of.
yeah, I'm a
So,
big Swiftie.
but like you got eras, and then you've done like some things. Like you did, like okay, I think you calculated the number of how much money that in free marketing you did for Eagle Family Foods for
Oh
Hamburger
yeah,
Helper.
it was well over, and that was in the beginning, and I just stopped because I got so backed up with
Well
like
over six
everything.
figures, right?
Yeah, it was well over that. And what I did was I calculated a formula. I worked with one of the AI programs, and that was before I started using Claude. Again, I'm pro AI. I'm very open about it. But I used ChatGPT to come up with a formula to, based on all of the posts that I had written and based on all of the engagement, comments, reposts, shares, like everything that happened, and calculated a media number for them of like what would have been based on industry standards of what you would have to spend on LinkedIn to come up with the same data on their side. And it was well over 100K. So
Yeah. Because your favicon is ridiculous. At least like your favicon was like a few months ago. I haven't checked it lately because I don't have like premium anymore. But like you were like obviously the number one ranked. They changed the category now. Do you notice that? It's like comedy and skits now. I think is the platform. But I
I'll have
think you're
to
still the
go
number
back
one.
in.
I think you're still number one, the highest ranked female. On comedy and skits, but at least you were. So don't quote me on that one for sure, guys. But like a few months ago, I know for sure she was.
For a long time, and that was again because nobody else was doing that kind of stuff on LinkedIn, so it was easy to really like hone in on that. And
You're so
comedy is what
humble. Like,
I
no, I'm gonna give you your flowers on that. Nuh-uh. Like you were actually like you would have me in stitches when I saw a new post when you were in your like comedy era. Like I was just like, oh my god, and it was just banger after banger after banger after banger.
I put it a little on hold. I've got to get back to it. I started like dabbling a little bit, but I just comedy is something. I said this to somebody recently. It's always it's gotten me through everything I've ever gone through in life. Comedy
Yeah,
has
and you've
always
been through some
been
shit.
the outlet for me. And I mean, everybody's got their own journey. We've all got our own obstacles. Millennials, I think, have gone through some of the worst shit with the way that we were raised and the things that we went
Yeah.
through. And I want to say I appreciate all the comments. I am trying to read them, but I can't
Yeah, I'm
type
trying to
and
read them
talk at
too,
the same
guys, but I'm
time.
trying to pay
Uh,
attention too. It's hard.
but I appreciate it. No, I had been on LinkedIn for 10 years, and I had tried the thought leadership and the boring shit that had worked for a long time.
And I was one of
And
your
it
fans of
was,
that, by the way, but I know that didn't have as much engagements. I know, like,
yeah, and it just didn't, like, the things that I'm really passionate about talking didn't carry merit, because at the end of the day, we all know that, like, especially in marketing, if you don't work for the global brands, nobody fucking cares. So it's like, fuck it. Why am I going to continue talking about these topics when nobody's paying attention? I'm just going to start writing, to really get back into writing is what I wanted to do. I hadn't done it for so long, and I kind of lost my spark because I
and
worked
you are
for
a hell of
corporate
a writer
brands.
too on the yappergazette.com. I'm a fan of especially your wrestling posts. Those feel like a blast from the past for me.
Buckle up, because we've got a hell of a post coming at the end of the month.
Uh-oh. Somebody that you met that might be pretty well known. I think you've written about him before, so it's not that big
I
of
haven't
a.
met him yet,
Oh,
but yeah, it's supposed to take place at the end of the month. We'll see. We did get approved for a press pass, so I'm really fucking stoked. And
there you
we're going to
go.
see.
That's how you said to get your foot in the door. Like a lot of times as a content creator, what you can do is like get a press pass or a media kit.
Yeah.
Or
Well, if you are
creator's
set
kit.
up as a publisher, which that's what the Yapper Gazette is. So if you have a blog, then you can sign, like you can go to Comic-Cons and you can apply as press, and you can get. And so I applied as press for the it's called the Raleigh Galaxy Con or Galaxy Con. They go everywhere, but they come to Raleigh every year in the summer. Of course, they choose to come when it's 110 degrees here, but yeah, that's going to take place at the end of the month. So we should have some really interesting content around that. We've got some really fun names, but this one is the one that means the most to me. And I can tell you an emotional story for that.
Yeah.
And I think you'll appreciate this one the most. So I was a huge tomboy growing up. I did not have a lot of girlfriends. I was not in, because I had older sisters who like terrorized me and like would like barbecue my Barbies. So I stopped playing with like dolls.
Barbies. That goes hard.
I'm not kidding. My middle sister, of course, it's a middle sister. I remember the day because I was like 5, and she took one of my Barbies and she blew it up in the microwave, and I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna learn how to like become big and strong. I understand that
because I'm the middle child. The middle child energy is like, I didn't like destroy my brother's Barbies. I let them have their Barbies untouched.
Well, after that, I was like, I'm gonna become really super strong and figure out how to like start body slamming my sister. And I got her back a couple of times. I will say a lot of people think raising girls is easier. Not so much.
Not so much.
She had to get stitches one time because I decided to freeze a water bottle and throw it at her head.
Oh, good decision.
And that's when I think she learned to leave me alone. But I got super into wrestling probably when I was about 6 or 7. And
Me too. I got into wrestling to fight my brothers.
It was right at the beginning of the shift of the Attitude Era, which to me, I love the classics. Look, I love Macho Man. I love, the Ric Flair. I love all of them. But the Attitude Era will always serve as the greatest era.
Well, the Attitude Era is the best era. You mean the NWO and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm talking Stone Cold. I'm talking The Rock.
I always wished to be in New World Order. I wanted to be in there.
See, I was the biggest Stone Cold Steve Austin fan.
Me too. I was the biggest Stone Cold fan. He was my number one.
Husband when he showed me Stunning Steve. I was like, why would you ruin this? Like,
oh.
So like every time I'm like, I love Stone Cold. He's like, what do you look like before? I'm like, shut up. We don't talk about that. But I went to King of the Ring when I was little, because we used to live across the street from the Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina, and that was one of their favorite spots to go through. North Carolina is huge for wrestling. We still go to a lot of underground stuff. The weekend that I told you and Bill about it, my NWO buddies.
Yeah, I'm in the NWO, baby. I'm in the New World Order. I'm part of it.
We're in a group chat, and I let them know that weekend that I went to go meet Nick Cage, we were supposed to be going to one of our wrestling events here, and I was so upset because they had Jerry the King Lawler, and I like my husband's such a big like old school fan, and I knew how much that was going to mean, but this took precedent. So
that's right.
As a kid, I got really into wrestling, and I was in 5th grade, and we lived in Las Vegas, and it was Christmas Day. It was just me and my mom. And, this is like, spoiler alert, Santa's not real, guys. Sorry, I know, someone's got to be the bearer of bad news.
I still believe.
I mean, hey, who doesn't, so she looks at me and she's like, do you want to just go, because we didn't want to do the traditional like Christmas thing that year. I'd already had a ton of gifts, and she was just enjoying vacation. She's like, you want to go to the mall? And I was like, yes. And we went to the mall, and the one thing that she let me pick out that day was Mick Foley's Christmas Chaos book, because it had just come out. And that is the book that I still have to this day that I had in the photo shoot that I used for that photo, for that article.
Yes.
And if you don't know about Mick Foley, like, or a little bit about me, I love holidays, okay? And some fun Mick Foley facts. He is, if you want to believe in Santa Claus, Mick Foley is Santa Claus.
I think he is.
Yeah. He loves Christmas. His daughter's name is Noelle. He has a Christmas room in his house 24/7 with a Santa throne. And that became my new life goal, was to become financially secure enough where I could create that in our house when we buy a house. So that is on the list of this has to be done. I have to have a Christmas room because the serotonin that brings you, chef's kiss.
And let me just say, I vetted Bree for all this time, and she deserves a Christmas room.
Yeah, I love Christmas. I love holidays.
She's been one of the she's on the nice list.
I try to be. The world needs more empathy, and like, I think with him, my dream would be to interview him at Holiday World, which is a theme park in the United States. It is in Santa Claus, Indiana, for those of you that don't know. It is the tackiest theme park we have, and I could not believe that I did not find out about this until a year ago.
And guys, you don't know. Let me explain to you something about Bree and dreams. What she does, she goes after them. She has like this, like she has these visions in her head, and then she just goes after them. She's relentless. Like, let's talk about like somebody who's got that dog in them. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sending a comment. Manifestation.
Yeah, you manifest the shit out of those dreams.
You know, like you gotta, it's part of it is believing in yourself and envisioning yourself there. So my dream is to interview him there and go on some of the rides. There's a gravy boat roller coaster. So that's in Thanksgiving Land. They have Christmas Land. They have like two other, there's like one that's like 4th of July and like all the little random ones in the back. And then there's like a Halloween one. But that is, that's my goal. And I did meet somebody at the Nick Cage event who has Mick Foley's contact details. So if I can't specifically reach out to him when I go to this event at the end of the month, then I have this other person who is going to help connect me.
Well, and there's somebody in my Discord who just is connected to every celebrity basically, with like how that she can talk to their agent and at least get something, at least get a message passed on to them. So like, she's another route for you. Her name's Cheese, aka Claire.
Well, I appreciate it. I would love to chat with her because I've got a lot of stuff going on. But Danny, Manifest sounds like the name of a gay bar. Never heard of her.
Oh my God.
I will say I believe in it so much more now because of meeting Nick, which is something I never thought I would ever say. Like, I joked about it a lot, but all of you guys truly made this happen. And I would like to like go back to Loose Cannon for a minute because they're the biggest part of this story. Had that never happened, I truly don't know if this moment would have happened, because in January when I pitched it to Noah, and like I said, he immediately was like, yes, this makes sense. A week later, we were on the phone deciding on a brand name. And the week after that, we had a website ready. Like, we hit the ground.
This is my favorite
like
part of your brand right here. Right here.
Yeah. Like, again,
what is
Flippy.
That? What is that? What is that?
That's Flippy.
That's Flippy right there.
Mm-hmm. And so when I got a DM that week, the week before, I got a DM from somebody on LinkedIn, a total sweetie pie, and she let me know that Nick was coming. The news had just broke, but it wasn't like major press had broke about this. It wasn't trending anywhere. I have Google alerts set for Nick Cage. And I did not see anything like that come through. And she was like, hey, I just thought you should know this. He's coming through. And I'm like, send me the link now. So I send it to Noah and we're talking about it. And I waited and I let him know that it was happening. And then I fell asleep for I felt like 30 minutes. It probably was like a couple hours. they released the tickets, and I was like, oh shit, Saturday's already sold out. So I like run down my stairs. I grab my computer and my phone. I come out to the garage. I call Noah. I'm like, this is happening. The tickets just went on sale. Can you make it? We ultimately decided, like, just get there as fast as you, like, do whatever you have to go. So he unfortunately was not able to come here, but we're going to put him in front of Nick as soon as we can. And yeah, we made the drive. We my husband and I booked tickets to everything, booked a car, booked a hotel, like pulled out all the stops, canceled anything that I needed to cancel for that week. Got everything ready to gift to him because we knew immediately we were going to use that opportunity to not just meet him and like fangirl out, but I did prep a lot, and I cried a lot with some specific people. Noah and Cassidy were my amazing rocks through that, where when I told you earlier, it was like, how did you not fall apart? It was like, I prepped. So that whole week I stopped taking my Lexapro so I could just cry every single day.
God. Wait, I need to do that. Stop taking my antidepressant and just have a good cry.
Yeah, I just let all the feelings out of like, you know, this isn't supposed to happen. Like I'm supposed to joke about like him being at my wedding. Like that's supposed to be my story.
What
for
do you
the
mean
rest of my
joke?
life. And well, like that's supposed to be the story, you know, like that's what started this all.
The story? It's not a joke. Nick Cage was at your wedding.
Yes, but that's like the thing of like, that's the story that I was supposed to tell. I was in my mind, I was like, he's untouchable. And it's not because of like, oh, I don't deserve to meet him. It's he doesn't do fan experiences. Like he's a man of mystery. And if you know about him, yes, Nicolas Cage.
That's me, an international man of misery.
Like he truly believes that, you know, to hold up the mystery around being an actor, he needs to be away from the public eye, because he came from that era of like growing up watching black and white film. And
he's got a famous family.
Yeah, and so he wanted to remain out of the eye, and he doesn't do like a lot of press, and but he started getting into it. So I was like, okay, no, we're going to put together a package for him. Where I had the tote bag, which had his face on it. It said, "You're my national treasure." That had been gifted to me like 10 years prior. I had a Dirty Dancing pin on it to represent the wedding story. I printed out that story on the Yapper Gazette paper, and it made it look like an old article. That was in the bag. We had a Loose Cannon fanny pack. We had a Loose Cannon t-shirt. There was artwork from Noah that I had printed out, which was, again, to the story earlier when he first reached out. He was like, hey, here, I do these drawings. If you ever want one, it's on the house. The link that he sent me was to Cameron Poe, which if you know me, you know that's my favorite movie. So that is Nick Cage from Con Air. For those of you not familiar with your Cage history, it's okay. I will not judge you for that.
She will, but just a little bit. Just a tad.
A lot. But yeah, after that, we packed the bag. I also had a bag of rotten candy in there, which if you guys know, I'm a big fan of rotten candy. And he has a son. And if you have kids, like I'm a mom, I know when I come back from these like events or trade shows or anything, my kids are like, what do you have for me? And then I hand wrote a note, a pitch that, you know, offered Loose Cannon as his go-to agency for when he decides to conquer social media.
Yeah,
I will share.
I feel like when Nick Cage gets on social media, it'll literally break social media. Like it'll be like it'll just like go on Instagram, for example. It'll just break it.
It's gonna be unlike anything anybody's ever seen. I'm already like, again, manifesting this hard, guys. So I need all of you to manifest that for us. But I took a video of me writing out the pitch. I wanted it to be from the heart and not a standard like bullshit pitch or anything. But I wrote it on the back of one of our Loose Cannon cards.
Doing, by the way. You're incapable of bullshitting. Like that's why I dream of the day to play poker with you. I've been long conning you into trying to play poker with you. Cause like you just would suck at bluffing. Like, let's be real.
I don't know. I don't know. I will say I played poker with one person, my husband's family. They might hate this, but I won't say names. They are a very competitive group. Okay. And they decided to play poker one night. And I was like, oh, guys, how do we play poker? And we start playing. I wiped the floor with everybody.
Oh, no.
And by the end, they were so pissed. And
you.
they went into the basement. And to this day, that was 4.5 years ago. I've never been invited to play poker.
Okay, so you're pitching Nick Cage from the Heart. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you put it on like a DVD.
No, I wrote it. I wrote it out like a handwritten
But I thought
note.
You wanted video proof of it.
No, I took a video of me like on my phone as I'm like writing because I wanted like proof of that moment to look back on.
Oh,
maybe I'll
for
post
yourself,
that,
not
but
for
like
him.
for myself. Oh. Yeah, no. Okay. The note was for him. And it said, the beginning of it was, Nicolas fucking Cage, you've tackled film, you're tackling TV, it's time to tackle social media. Yeah. And it was, the rest of it was just like, you had
He's
to be
like
an actual fan to read it. Like if he read it, he immediately was like, this is a real fan, this isn't. So the only thing that we were worried about is like, are we going to be able to gift him this or not? He was so incredibly cool. I think he made a lot of money that Saturday because Saturday I saw the photos getting posted and I was like, ooh, he doesn't look too happy today. Like, oh man, he hates this. He's never going to do this again.
But that's how I look, Bree, in like all of these episodes on the show. Even when I have a great guest, I look like I'm hating it, but I'm not, like, because I have an RBF. Sorry.
You just gotta smile more, which is funny because that's what is usually said to women. But somebody had groped. So somebody had groped him on Saturday, and that is like we found out because they had a strict Sunday no touching rule. And I was just worried. I was like, oh, he's not going to take anything. But when I got up there, he was smiling that it will play like a movie in my head. Again, I tried not to make direct eye contact so I could keep composure and not like buckle at the knees. My husband just kept telling me, like, when I was going up there, he's like, just remember you're married. I'm like, so is he. It's okay.
Your husband's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, no, he's the one that started this essentially. Like he was the one who started buying me Nick Cage stuff in the beginning.
Initially as a gag, like every birthday, every holiday, I think, right? Like
him and his family.
You guys, like you guys are gonna think that Bree's fronting, but we've got proof of this on the Chit.com show, which is it's still a podcast, but for me, but it's on hiatus. But we interviewed Bree about a year ago on this, and she showed like some of her Nick Cage stuff. And she's got even more though. She's shown it more on LinkedIn, I think.
Mm-hmm. I've got 2 less pieces now because he's got the bag, and I also gifted him a couple Christmases ago. My brother-in-law gifted me a coaster set, and it has John Travolta's face on it, but it says Nicolas Cage. And Nick got one of those coasters in the bag as well. And
that's an awesome bag. What the heck? Like, I know if I was him, I'd be ecstatic to get that. Like,
he was so happy because like I stepped up and it was me standing next to him. There was a venue guy off to the left here, a manager in the left corner, and then like I guess maybe hair and makeup, his row of ladies. And then security was behind the curtain. And I think one was like probably hair and makeup. One was publicist. And the guy to the left was like, do you want that tote bag in the photo? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. Because it's the last time I'm going to see it. And I like right after I was like, hey, Nick, can I give this to you? After it, I'm like trying not to look him directly in the eye.
Oh he's my God. So you got to talk to Nick Cage?
Oh, yeah. And he like he's looking at me. He's like, yeah, you can. He was so ecstatic about it because I don't think anybody else thought of like bringing him stuff. It was mostly people bringing stuff for him to sign.
That's adorable. Yeah, because it was
So
for them. But like you got something for him. You brought him a present.
Yes. And so I was super stoked. And right after the photo, like his publicist or whoever that was, like she pops up like a little angel and she's like, I got it. And they took the bag. So whatever happened after that, I just hope that he was able to read the note. And just understand that there's a lot of fans out there that, you know, we want to see him everywhere, and support him and pull him in. Because like, if you know, well, I don't know if you know this, but like before he did the Unbearable Weight movie, he had to be convinced because he thought they were trolling him. So I think, you know, he comes from that era of like thinking there's so many people that are going to hate on him on social media, but there's so many more people here who just want to cheer him on and support what he does.
Like, and I've noticed that too, as somebody who's like a very minor, very, very minor, you know, influencer on LinkedIn. It's the haters to fans ratio. Like the fans outnumber the haters by far for anybody. Like for anybody that puts themselves out there on social media. And a year and a half ago, I mean, you can even tell me like this, like a year and a half ago, I had nothing out there, right? So I was afraid that there would be too many haters on social media. I was afraid of that, but it's not true. As somebody who's gotten decently big, it's not true. Like the fans far outweigh the haters, and the haters are just fans in disguise anyways.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with a friend today where I was talking. I've had a lot of friends go through the dark side of social media, and I've been in it for over a decade. So I've been well prepped in it, at least a little bit more. I've, you know, gone through a lot of the shitty stuff in the beginning that everybody goes through of, you know, not having a community, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, feeling burnout, comparing your you know, your experience to other people's experiences. And that really sucks. But I've also experienced so much of the hate where, you know, this is something I've started to see is like a year ago, like you said, you didn't have much going on. I didn't have much going on. And now there's so much going on that I've started to get kind of backhanded comments in my DMs from people. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to not chat with you anymore while you work through whatever personal issues you're going through that you want to try to project onto me. And it's just understanding that
personal
like,
issues. It's not about you. And like, I'm so glad that you figured that out. It's not about you. Like when people like hate on me, like I just kind of feel sorry for them, or I don't even notice them. Like lately, I don't even notice them.
Yeah, it is and this is what I tell creators, like my advice all the time is never hate watch anything, because it really puts you in that like toxic mindset. So it's like, if I don't enjoy somebody's content, I just don't watch it. I'm not going to ever pull down what somebody else is doing, because one, I'm trying to use my social media for good in a world that really feels like it has been on fire for the last few years. And I think we've all had enough of it. And it's like, you know what, just find your community, find people you can cheer on, and find people who are going to do the same for you. If you don't like me, you can block me or just move on. But I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to give you the validation that you're.
Yeah, I don't give people the validation. For. I don't do it. I just don't. Unless you're fucking funny. Like if you're like Zach or these people that are going to roast me on Saturday, of which you're included. Like I think that's funny. I enjoy that. That kind of hate I enjoy. That's just roasting is very light hate, but it's mostly love.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like we're there to like tear you apart. It's really gonna be a fun time. I was pretty stoked about that. Pretty surprised that got pulled together so quickly. So, you know, buckle up for whoever's gonna be here Saturday. Because all I can tell you is it's going to be very feral and wild. I'm so grateful to have met them and like you and so many of the creators here. And I think that's what everybody needs to just keep doing, is like just keep finding your community and your tribe. And
yes, find your tribe. And you need to build your community, and you got to that's the focus. if the focus is on building community and fostering community, then like hate and just like people who are poisonous, they'll filter themselves out, and then you can just give them the boot if you need to. But like that's what the block button's for. But
Yeah, I
like,
block freely.
yeah, block freely. And that's what Bill Yost posted the other day. He said, how many do you guys have? You blocking? He was surprised, I think, to see I'm only blocking 2, because I'm not afraid of the hate. Like, I welcome it. But it's just the community is the most important thing to focus on if you want to be an influencer on LinkedIn. Build a community, build a tribe, as Bree said. And I think that's one of the very first things she told me, that she taught me, is that it's about finding your people. And like that's what all the memes and the bullshitting, like all that, like that's all, like those are just doorways.
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing, like just as a marketer that we've tried to scream for years to brands, is that all the brands that die off, they never focused on a community. They never focused on people that matter, and they end up with just these audiences of disgusting basement dwellers who do nothing but shit on their posts. And it's the same experience for creators. It's like, if you don't build a community of friends and people who lift you up the same way that you lift them up, you're going to get all that, the rest of the dwellers who are seeking out this kind of content to just go tear other people down because they find joy in that.
Yeah.
And if you give them the validation that they're seeking, they're going to continue.
Give them the
satisfaction. My block list is much higher than yours, because I'm not going to give you access to hate me and my community. And that's what I'm like, you're not going to tag me in posts. You're not going to not just tag me down, but I know how that can mentally impact other people who view it. And that's what people often don't think about. So I think about the impacts that it's going to have on my community and my audience if they see it. Like, is this going to trigger them? Are they in a depressed state already? Is this going to make them feel bad? Like, if you come in talking shit about Hamburger Helper, like, I'm going to block you. And it's not because it's like, oh, I can't believe you eat that. It's 2026. It's like, shaming people for food in this economy is something I'm not going to tolerate, because I actually connect with a lot of people in my community, and I know what a lot of people are going through. And I know when I started posting about that, I had so many people who were like, you make me feel so comfortable just sharing my grocery hauls, or you make me feel comfortable about eating this stuff and that I don't feel ashamed to eat it. And I'm like, however you're choosing to eat is not my concern. Like, I'm never going to shame people for that. And I think that's another thing, is like, people in general just need a social media etiquette guide for do's and don'ts, because a lot of people they just don't know. And
that'd be more important than geometry. Get geometry out. Yeah. Put social media etiquette in.
Like, how to have empathy for people. Lead with kindness. If somebody comes in asking a question, don't shit on them or be rude about whatever question they ask. Like, I try to help as many people as I can.
I've noticed that about you. You're welcoming to a fault. You're wholesome to a fault. But it's such a great quality about you that like my level of trust for Bree is through the roof. Like, there are less than 5 people on this planet that I would ever give the keys of my social media to. And Bree's one of them. There's no question she's one of them. Like,
I appreciate that.
She knows how to build communities and run shows.
Part of that comes from, again, like just learning a lot of the things that I've learned. But I've shared this before and I've talked about it. I did a live that I think is still recorded. People might be able to find it. I'm not sure if they did, but I did a event with, I'm blanking on the last name. His name is Dan. He's a really good buddy of mine, but I'm
Danny Maldonado. Got it.
Not Maldonado. I would never forget. No, this is Dan. I can't believe I'm forgetting it right now. But 10 years ago, I started on social media. It's been probably 12 years now. I started on social media as a creator, and that was at a time that I did not know what I was doing. I grew an audience from 0 to 22,000 in 6 months. We didn't have AI back then. There wasn't like the creator world. There wasn't like an influencer world. There was none of that. I had every brand under the sun sending me DMs that were like, we want to sponsor you. How are you doing what you're doing? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I live in a studio with a busted HP laptop. I have no degree in this. I do not know.
No, but you could be a professor of social media, to be honest. To be completely honest, you could go to any university in the world and teach social media, whatever facet it is, just social media in general. And like, I would fully trust you to be able to teach that class, to lead that class.
Oh, 100% now. But like back then, I didn't know. I had no kids and 0 big responsibilities. So I was a million times more feral. My account still stands today because I refuse to delete it. I'm just waiting out the owner at this point, and hoping the banks pull it back or, somebody else buys it. But
wait, you're talking about your Twitter account, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I still will always refer to it as Twitter.
Me too. I don't know what it is now. I think it's still Twitter, whatever it is.
I had some, I will say, mentors come in and it hugely took advantage of my naiveness. Because again, I grew up pretty sheltered. I didn't have a background in this. I didn't know anything about marketing or social media or how to protect myself. I didn't have a community of people that I could reach out to for this. And these people took advantage of me in a way that really caused me to go into a mental health decline for a really long time.
I know those feels.
Yeah, and it was really bad. I found out that they were taking advantage of me because they were making me these promises of like, oh, we're going to pay you eventually. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do this. And Zippo, the brand, the lighter brand, which one moment. I think
she's committed the cardinal sin number 1 of an interview. You can't walk away. It's just, oh no, here, what I gotta do? I gotta read some comments. I'd 100% go to Professor Brugh, says Drew. Drew is on your side. He'd go to Professor Brugh.
Hopefully soon we'll have something for you guys. But Zippo was one of the first brands to reach out to me. This was one of their
that's
original.
Worth it to step away from the interview for. That's worth it.
Yeah. That was the first PR box that I ever got. It was a replica of their 1935 lighter. And they will. And then we had a call like 2 weeks after, like DMs and emails and everything. And they basically blew the cover on these mentors and were like, they're using your data to sell their own platform and their tools. And I was like, oh, that's really funny because I'm not being paid for anything. And they were like, yeah, they want $10,000 to work with them. You're nowhere involved in this. And that's not what we want. Like, we want to sponsor you, but we don't have $10,000. And I was like, I would never, like at that time, I was like, that was more money than I could ever imagine. Now I'm like, 10 grand's not that much for an influencer of, like especially one that's doing like what you're doing, like your numbers. And that's essentially what I had back then. I had millions of impressions. I had, again, like 20,000 followers. I had all the metrics, but I still didn't know anything. Like, how much should I be charging? What a media kit is. I didn't know any of that. And when I found that out, I had a mental health crash. I quit social media. I got off social completely. I did start my career in digital marketing, and I started working for brands ultimately, and just quit because I was so disappointed in like, one, how naive I was, but also like people that I thought I could really trust who were just, again, using me for to sell their own shit, which, knowing what I've seen creators get put through over the last 10 years, I'm not surprised looking back at it 100%. It's like, I could have had better boundaries. They could have just been decent human beings at the end of the day, and they weren't. One is still on LinkedIn to this day. I won't say the name because I don't want any legal trouble, because that is the lane that they would probably go after. But if you can go back and find Dan and I's live from that, I think we both end up saying the name because he went through the exact same thing with the exact same people a few years after I did.
And so it was really the trials and tribulations of being a content creator, an influencer, whatever you want to call it. You know, the do's and don'ts, the pitfalls, the etiquette, so to speak, the ways to build a community and the ways to just grow in the right way. And I think that was one of the most important things that you instilled upon me when we first started talking, was that you wanted me to grow the right way and not just grow to grow.
Because that's what, to be honest, like that's the thing I talked, because I have somebody that I'm mentoring right now, and I have a couple of people, but the person that I met with today was like, I never would have figured out any of this, and I never would have known half of that had you not taught me this stuff. And this is what most people don't know. They think, you know, as a creator, your only lane is sponsorships, and that it's just about how many followers.
No, there's 7 ways, right? 6 or 7 ways.
Well, there's 5 ways. It's sponsorships, it's ad revenue, it is affiliate marketing, it is digital products, and it's collaborations. Collaborations is really off the table until you have a really large audience in a like a specific niche. So like beauty, you might collaborate with a beauty line on like a palette that's like your brand and their brand. That's like after you get established. The other 4 are more attainable, but most creators just chase that, you know, follower count leads to sponsorships, and that's not right. Like years ago, that may have worked when brands only cared about who had big followings. But now they know that most of that is like a smoke show. And if you don't train your audience as you're building them the right way, then when you start to take in things like sponsorships, then it's just going to fall flat and they're not going to convert. And then what a one-off, they're never going to want to work with you again. So it's like, my advice to creators is to build out your social funnels, which is sending people to your website, sending people to your YouTube shows, sending people to your podcast, subscribing to your newsletters. You know, if you have an affiliate link, like the tools that you actually use, send an affiliate link. The number one question I get all the time is like, what is your tech stack? I don't care about what's the best. What are you using? I will always send an affiliate link, because that is money on the table that you are just throwing away. It hurts nobody. The brand has to pay it out. And it's like, I see creators making $30,000, $40,000 a month from Amazon affiliate marketing for having Amazon storefronts and just linking that. Guess what? That's more money they have to pay out that doesn't go into Bezos' pocket.
Good.
And you get a lot of money. Like Amazon will pay out some of their bonuses, if you hit, are like 80 grand. That's enough to change a lot of your lives, especially with the way the economy is. So I never shame anybody also for however they decide to make money off of social media, as long as you're monetizing it.
And I wanted to ask you for a while on that one. What about teaching, coaching? Because like I've had people come up to me and want to be like, to learn from me of how to grow as a content creator. And you can make money from that. And I don't think there's shame in that.
Not at all. If you have a skill set and you're able to teach people to do this same thing, do it. So one of the long-term things that I focused on was setting up as a publisher, because there's more money in that long-term than there is in sponsorships. Sponsorships, you have to book enough consistently to think about like replacing your revenue. And for most people, like you're just not at a place to book that many consistently. Like they don't understand like how the amount of time that that's going to take to be out there pitching. Like you're a one-man show at this point. You can't be everywhere. So I chose affiliate marketing first, and I chose ad revenue which if you can set up a blog and you can get that blog to 25,000 visits a month, you can join a platform called Raptive, where they put display ads on your site. And, if you have 100,000 visits a month, that's going to bring in anywhere from like 40 to 50 grand in ad revenue a month.
Yeah. I think I can do that. Like, I'm going to try to, because I just did 1.5 million, at least 1.5 million over the last 3 days.
That's what you got to start doing. You got to start funneling these people.
Yeah.
Like, you got to start.
Because they got to know where to go. Because
else.
92% of my, and this just came out, and I know you'd geek on this, but 92% of my impressions are out of network.
Yeah, and that's incredible. Like, your numbers are, we talk about it all the time, they're insane. But this is the next part of that. Like, what do you do with that?
No, that's what I'm saying. And I didn't know this until I reached out to you. Like, you told me this thing about like what a media kit is, and I'm like, what the hell is a media kit? And then you told me all about the numbers that I'm supposed to do and like what I'm supposed to charge for what. And I'm just like, this is not easily obtainable information. This is not, you can't just ask Claude. Like, you can, but it won't give you as good of a result as asking you. So
part of that comes from the experience that I have, which is very unusual as a marketer, because I got to work with a celebrity influencer, which was equivalent to working side by side with a Mr. Beast. And that's the part that I really took with me of, because I essentially ran, before I went on my own free journey, I worked for a celebrity influencer. I worked on their course where we taught influencers how to do all of this. So I literally was like Olympic training for all
I know
of this.
Bree is for real, the influencer's influencer. Like, I've said that for at least a year now, that like she is who you go to if you want to know like who are the influencers getting influenced by. It's like, it should be Bree.
I'm just hopeful because I want to be a trusted source, and I want to be the person that people really see like, okay, she's not bullshitting. Like, if you truly stick with this and you're consistent and you follow, you cross all your T's and dot all your I's, like, this will become your biggest moneymaker and it will change your life. But you can't give up. A lot of people want to give up. And then when you show them like
I've wanted to give up some. Yeah.
Yes. It's hard, and it will, like, especially when you start looking at what
it's so fucking hard. Like, oh my God, posting as much as you need to post and posting the right things for your audience and understanding your audience. Like, it's actually mind-blowingly hard, guys. It's not like you guys just see like haha funny meme and you think haha funny meme. Like, I'm doing that for a reason though. I'm not doing that just because haha funny meme.
It's another one of those of like, what you also don't know about some of these big creators that you see online that have these like, 800,000 million followings, is that they have teams of people behind them doing all of this. They're just in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there. I've been behind the scenes. There's an assistant, there's a creative director, there's a photographer, there, you have all the bodies behind the scenes.
It's like how Nick
like,
Cage had like 10 bodies. Yeah.
But on social media, you only ever see them, and it's constructed to make you feel like they're doing all of this and they're the ones doing. And it's like, I can tell you that for me, like, everybody's asked me all the time, like, are you the writer at the Yapper Gazette? And I'm like, yes, I write all of my content.
She
which
is
why it
like,
takes
she actually
me
is. She
forever.
I don't know how she writes all that shit, but she does.
I love writing. Like, I can sit and write. Like, I will tell you that story that you guys read on the Yapper Gazette for when I met Nick Cage. I wrote that on the way back home. My husband drove the whole way home, and this is like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I could just sit there and write it out in a notebook. I will say, like, if you need to write and you need to leverage AI, do it. Whatever you need to do. Again, I don't care. The world needs more yappers, as long as it's good what you're putting out and it's not going to, be offensive to anybody. I try to be a really fun outlet for people. But yeah, I focused on setting up, the site as a publisher. I joined publisher programs like CJ's and a Win, where you can find ad partners. And I do a lot of this stuff behind the scenes to really
and
like
Bree
get
is like
things
relentless
moving.
in that. Like she's a literal pit bull, but like in a nice way, like the friendly pit bull.
Yeah.
Of how she is so like honed in on whatever she wants to get, that she's just gonna keep going for it. And the guy at Freebird said it best the other day. He said, like, if like he tagged you in a post and was like, she's
Jay's the
awesome.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He
the
was
best.
just stunned. He was like this. I'm pretty sure he was shaking his head as he posted it. Like, she is just a specimen.
He's incredible. His support has really meant a lot. And we've talked so much in the DMs, and I'm always like, just, I love leaders like that who come down from their, pedestal.
Yeah,
And
and he really does. Yeah.
yeah, and there's been very few leaders that I've actually met that have made differences like that. I will say I put him in the same realm that I put Sean at Dude Wipes. For those of you who know the Dude Wipes story,
Ooh,
like,
damn. Hold
yeah,
up, Jay. That's quite a compliment.
he talks to me the same way that Sean does. And that's, again, like, I know so many people are like, oh, you have a really big account, like you're doing all these things. It's like, yeah, but still, like, you have no idea. I've been a marketer in that specific world for a really long time. And to have them like acknowledge what you're doing when they're running $1 million companies, that to me, that support really means more than I think they know.
Yeah,
But
like for
I
real. Like that was the nicest post about you. And I was just like floored by it. I was like, that is like, and it's so
I did not
fucking
expect
true.
it.
It's so fucking true about her. And I'm just like, that is literally, that's the Briana Brugh that I know.
I appreciate it, because sometimes it's hard where it's like, you're like, you're humble. I'm like, yeah, but some days I'm like really beating myself up for, stuff that I'm dealing with on the back end. Like, I'm pitching to, anywhere from like 25 to 50 brands a day for the last few weeks. And I felt like nothing is going right. And then I read Jay's message and I was like, you're fucking right. This is who you are. Like, you don't give up regardless.
No, it really is though, because like, my God, like the when Bree loves like whatever it is, and Bree's a people person. When she loves whatever it is, whatever, like if or whomever it is or whatever it is, she goes all fucking out. And I respect the hell out of that. Like if like she will go, she'll if she's going to bat for you, she will go to bat for you.
Because I will always do that for creators, because again, what I shared with you guys, what I've gone through. And I always told myself, if I ever gained the knowledge and all of that to make a difference for other creators, I would help them out. And regardless, like, if you're rooting for me or not, like, I'm rooting for your success. Like,
No, that's what I'm
genuinely,
saying.
truly
Like, you're
am.
such a good judge of character, because you can tell whether it's a brand or a creator or just a human or whatever it is. You're such a good judge of character, though. You can tell, is this worth my time? And then you put in hella effort. Like, you move fucking mountains. My God.
I've been in the industry long enough. I've worked for a lot, like some of the horror stories I could share with you guys about, founders I've worked for would shock you to your core. And it comes from bye, Noah. It comes from that place of, again, knowing the mindset that I was in, and like knowing, like really getting to know everybody here. Cause like we were talking about coffee chats earlier, I did like 122 coffee chats last year with complete strangers. Now, out of those coffee chats, 2 people turned into psychopaths. But out of the rest of that group, like, I got to meet so many of you, and I laughed. And, on so many of the calls, it was so apparent that people just needed somebody to talk to. Like, so many people were crying and like just telling their story of what they were going through. And I think we just need to humanize the people that we see on social media. And so, I mean, that's really all I'm hoping to do, is that transfers over and translates to everything that I'm doing. The next biggest thing outside of the website is the YouTube show that I've been talking about lately.
Nice.
That I've been working on for like, again, that one has taken so long. It's taken almost a year, where so many people are like, you've talked forever about interviewing someone. Like, when's this going to happen? I'm like, this shit took forever. Like, it took forever to find 10 celebrities to say yes for the first season. And now that we have that full, I can now pitch that to sponsors, and that's what I've been doing for the last like 2 months, is trying to get that off.
I know you've been in the labs. I was wondering what you've been doing, but I knew you were in the labs. So okay, we got a question. Let's answer a couple questions, and then we got to wrap this up. But my childhood friend Daniel says, "How do you break through the echo chambers, or do you avoid them?"
You break through them. Because again, if everybody's saying the same thing in a category that you want to talk about, find an angle that nobody's talking about. Again, I found a way to tie in hamburger storytelling.
Yeah.
Break through those fucking echoes like you're the Kool-Aid man.
Renee says that she's looking forward to hitting 2,000 followers. Like, that's a big deal right there. Every milestone is important. It's important to you. It's important to us. And I know that Bree went through that same thing that I did. Oh my God. You're slugging it out when you're around that like number. Like, it's hard. Mm-hmm. But once you get to once you break 5,000, like, ooh, it starts opening up. The world starts like changing for you. And then once you break 10,000, it's like, oh, as long as you do it as it's natural. Like, if you're just spam adding people, it's not so natural. It's better to do it in a natural way. But once you break 5 to 10,000, the acceleration, it's not linear like we talked about earlier. It goes like it's exponential.
Yeah, and I will say, don't try to like get caught up in looking at your like daily 30-day, 90-day metrics. Always just look at your 1 year, because that's going to show you the line that is just constantly going up. That's going to show you that like confidence boost that you need. Yeah, every milestone is incredible. And I will say, like, even getting to 100 followers is big, because we get so caught up in this like vanity metrics of like, oh, it's just followers. It's like, okay, I want you to envision a venue that can hold 2,000 people, and I want you to Google it and start, like, for every milestone you hit, like, look up a venue that holds that many people, and that will put some perspective in front of you of like, oh, like, this is pretty incredible.
I know,
like, you know, a comedy venue only holds what, 300?
Yeah, I've spoken at what look like big conferences, and they hold like what you just said, like what, 300? And then like I'm speaking to like 300, and then I'm on a panel with like 3 others. So it's like you're already getting kind of like neutered, kind of, so to speak. You're getting diluted. That's a better word. You're getting diluted. And so on this platform though, like once if you reach 100 people a day, 200 people, 300, 400, those are real people. Those are real numbers. And the numbers like might seem small compared to somebody like my numbers, you know, but I was in your shoes not too long ago, guys. Like, even if you're at even 500 followers, and I was posting when nobody was there, and I was talking into this microphone when nobody was there. There was nobody watching.
I remember the early, and like every time I get on here, you are just 500 comments, like crushing it. I talk about you all the time. And me and Noah were talking about you today, because it was like, I'm so proud. And I mentioned this to Cassidy recently, like, shout out to Cassidy and Danny.
Follow both of them.
Yes.
Follow Danny first, Cassidy second.
You are some of the 3 that, again, if you're not hungry enough for this, you're going to give up, you're going to burn out. But you guys are the poster kids for what creators should be doing and how you should be growing the right way. And all 3 of you are on your own paths, but you're all doing so great. And I'm so proud of you guys for not giving up.
Thank you.
Getting to watch and like cheer you on. I try to hop in whenever I can, but like, you're on the right path. And if you don't give up and you start to, and we can talk later after this, but like what some of those funnels look like and what some of those assets look like, there's nothing stopping you from right now to pitching to 20, 30 brands a day that aren't going to look at your numbers and be like, puh. They're going to look at your numbers and be like, abso-fucking-lutely, yes. It's just about how you frame it. And again, you've been growing the right way. I mean, you're blowing everyone out of the water. You completely surpassed me. So it's like the student has become the teacher.
No, I think you'll always be really, truly the teacher's teacher. You'll always be in that position. So like, even when you take your hiatuses from posting, like the Dannys, the Cassidys, the Maxes of the world, we still see you and miss you and appreciate you. And we know that you're working hard, and our paths are different. So like your path, like you just said, my path's different from Danny's path, and Danny's path's different from Cassidy's path. Danny dukes it out with people in the Facebook comment section. That's so cool.
Oh my God. The
that.
fact, yeah, I don't promote my Facebook. You guys are there. Please don't anybody else follow me or connect with me on Facebook. I've let a few people in. It's my private world. I have been kind enough to let a few people into that world because I've really gotten to know them. And I don't let too many people in on that side of my world. So don't find me, but please find Max and Danny. They're incredible over on Facebook still.
Yeah, we switched the
Danny's
knob onto content creator. Danny and I are we're now like followable by anyone, and we're at the mercy of the algorithm. But somebody like Briana on Facebook is not at the mercy of the algorithm. She's in her own little world. So let her live her private life. Even
That's
creators like me,
stuff.
though, even creators like me, we want to have our private lives too. So I do have aspects of my life that I don't let into. It's a hard way to divvy it up. And that is something that I'm going to talk to Brie more about in the coming, months, is like how to maintain that privacy, so to speak, in the private world.
There's a lot to balance there. My biggest thing is, my family did not consent to the social media part. So it's like, I try to think about that. Like none of like my sisters, my aunts, like my Facebook is for my family and grandparents. And those people did not consent to like blowing up in viral posts and dealing with any of that. So I really try to keep that world private. It's also my kids. They're private. They are not content. Their faces I made a big decision to never let their faces be seen in content anymore. I'm sure there's some pictures out there, but for the last couple of years, I've really made it, a big challenge to keep those separate. But then some of you guys found me and I was like, well, I know you guys are actually friends.
Yeah. And it's hard because like, that's the last topic that I want to talk about is the parasocial aspect real quick. That like, I just want to turn it over to Brie on like what, like, how to, if you're a content creator, how to deal with the parasocial relationship thing.
This is why I keep my accounts separate like that. And every once in a while, like I mention my husband in social media, but he is not a social media guy. And like I said, the families did not consent to like that social media world. So I would never put any of that at risk. So I keep all of that private for a reason, because again, social media is very weird. You see how people are with celebrities. I mean, you see how people are with the Taylor Swift wedding. Like, as a big Swiftie, am I dying to see a photo? Absolutely. Do I think I am owned any right to that? Not at all. Do I try to make comments online about her like I know her? No, because that's weird. Like, and I would feel the same way about any other person. Like, I don't go online and try to create weird parasocial relationships attached to anything. I try to remain respectful. And I think with my content, I do a pretty good job of that, with not opening the gates for any weirdos in the DMs. I can't speak for a lot of people. And I know their DMs, like Cassidy just said, people get weird in the DMs. They do. I've seen a lot of friends on LinkedIn who get really disgusting, inappropriate DMs. And I'm like, I've never had that experience, but the internet, anytime that you sign up on the internet, you also have to accept you are putting yourself out there for the world. So what you do prioritize about your personal life, those details should always be kept private. Like, I have been open about my husband and his diagnosis with MS, but I don't talk about it every day. It's not a part of my content series. Like, I don't talk about my kids in my content. Like, that is stuff that's private to me, and I'm not going to put them on social media. And I'm not going
That's
to
the
put
way to do it.
myself like, yeah, like, I'm an emotional person and I know what gets under my skin, and I'm not going to put my family out there, because that is when you would see a completely different side of me.
Yeah. All right.
So,
What are your closing thoughts of this whole stream, or just to talking to the audience, whatever your closing thoughts you get to just, summarize for everybody.
woo!
All right, my turn. Woo!
That's pretty good. That's not bad. A little bit more energy.
I need a little more energy. I felt a little more energized the past few days, but all right. We will see you guys next time tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central with Josh Kane. Then Thursday at 8 p.m. Central with Zach Rusin. And that will be a lot of fun. But then the heavy hitter is on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Central with Briana Brugh, Brooke Sweeter, Bill Yost, and Max Langley. The foursome that you never wanted, but the foursome that you're going to get. Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Central. So be sure to check that out, guys. We'll see you guys next time on the Chit-Chat Show, where the chat decides where we go. Bye, Hamburger Helper.